Hello, welcome to Gentle Yoga with Ruth. Hi, I'm Ruth, coming to you on recording. So I have had my right hip replaced by the time you're watching this. So I just wanted to make sure you get a good class, and I'm not still in recovery. So hope you enjoy this recorded class, and I'll be back live next time. So let's start seated. Come into your chair. After you've set up your environment, I've lit a candle, I have my salt lamp going, and just creating a calm energy in my space. So why don't you come to that calm space with me? Just feel yourself settling in, kind of pouring yourself back into your body, back into this present moment, coming into the reality of your feet on the floor, your hips in your chair, and the spine long and straight, and the top of the head right over top of the tailbone. So pull your chin back and forth a little bit and loosen up the neck, and just see if you can get the top of the head to feel like it's right over top of the tailbone. This is our center column, the crown of the head to the base of the spine. So we're going to breathe here. And we've been using the image of a hollow canal, like a hollow tube, like a paper towel roll kind of thing. So we're creating a sheath around our central nervous system, our brain, our spine, and all the nerves that come out and feed our whole body. So when we come back to center, we come back to the core, to the replenishment of our nervous system. So let's take 4 breaths while we're pushing down on our legs ever so slightly. So just feel a little push down on your legs and pull up with your knees. So you're pushing against your hands. Pull your belly button in. And just imagine the breath rising and falling in this hollow canal. So the breath would rise up from the tailbone through the hollow canal up to the top of the head and nourish the brain, and then sweep all the way down, 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 clearing the hollow canal even wider, opening up and dropping the breath as if you could go out the tailbone now, just dropping down, down, down. Some people imagine that the tailbone is like the tail energy that unfurls and can go down into the earth. So if you like that image, just imagine that the tailbone unfurls like an energy tail, and it goes down into the energetic energies of the earth, not the physical rocks and minerals, but the energy. So we're just imagining this connection with the earth. And the breath rises up to the top of the head, and it falls back down, 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 out the tail. So feel yourself getting grounded and spacious at the same time. We're feeling settled in our breath. That's it. So just 4 of those hollow canal breaths can really help us feel grounded and settled and called back to our center. And I know that there's a lot of interference to that. So we're going to address that today. The things that block us from feeling settled and calm and connected and spacious and peaceful. And, there's things that get in our way. So we're going to address those today in our class. We're going to set the intention that today will be a day to build a toolbox of ways to discharge, clear, integrate different energies, different emotions, different situations, So we're going to get some tools from yoga. Yoga is a lifestyle kind of practice. It's not just an exercise class at the gym or at a yoga studio. It's a life process, lifestyle in all different aspects of our lives. So this is about self-management. It's about self-regulation. It's about learning how to identify what's disturbing our peace and how to bring ourselves back to peace, if that's your goal, or back to calm, or back to confidence, or back to everything's okay, optimism, hope, enthusiasm, motivation, delight. You know, what brings us back to life? So sometimes we get stuck and we get twirled around, and we all do. That's part of the human drama here on earth. So today's practice will be about bringing ourselves back to center over and over. So we're going to use the analogy of like Goldilocks, you know, this is too much, this is too little, and this is just right. So we're looking for what's just right. So let's mark our territory. This feels right to sit, to relax, to breathe, to calm, to settle. Let our mind stop swirling and just quiet down for a moment. So we could ground this as our home base, a place where we can come back to. Maybe it's not ideal, maybe it's not so-called perfect, but this is our home base for this moment. Let's honor that and give homage to the state that we're in right now, and that this is a home space for us, and we might want it to be a little cleaner, prettier, brighter, more vitalized home space, and we can do that. Okay, so we're using the just right kind of thing. So let's imagine that we're going too slow. So let's go real slow in our chair. We're going to push our feet to the floor, push your toes in, push your heels in, activate the legs, activate the core. And we're going to go real slow motion, forward fold with the hips. So we're going to go nice and slow, hinging at the hips, keeping the back straight, and then get to the point where you can't go straight anymore. It doesn't feel good. And you want to go round. So we're going round. Our shoulders are falling forward, letting gravity take our arms down. Our head comes down. So we're going slow-mo, going down into a rest position. So anytime our chest is resting on our legs or on our belly, we just feel calmer. It calms us. So let ourselves come into a calm state. So sometimes slowing down will bring us calm. Let's just see how that works. That's it. And now pull back from the belly and roll up. So the forward fold is in our toolbox as a way of calming ourselves if we feel like we're going too fast. So if we're in that jangly, jagged, everything's too hard, it's crazy. If we go into any of that, any variation of that, a forward fold is such a nice remedy. It's just like, clear our burdens and slow ourselves down, and then we can come back up and recenter. And we can do that repeatedly. So we could use the forward fold as a way of self-regulating, as a way of calming down a frenzied feeling. Okay? So maybe we're going too slow, like, oh, we just don't have any energy. We just want to sit here on the couch and eat and watch TV. Well, maybe that is going too slow. So we could give ourselves some rest on the couch with some yummy food, and then we want to get into action. We want to move. So even from the couch, we were working with rhythmic movement last time. So maybe inhale through the nose as we come forward, and exhale and pull everything back and down as we exhale. So just sitting in the couch saying, I'm going to go a little faster. I'm going to pick up the cadence a little bit. I'm in sloth walk. I'm going to get to maybe not all the way to puppy, but get to the upright position. Okay, so let's just do it on the breath. We'll do it 4 times. Inhale forward, exhale, back. So you can blow it out, or you can sigh it out. Okay, that was 4. Did you get any more energy? Did it speed you up? Did it get your heart waking up? Did it get your brain firing because you were counting? So we can remedy things, is what I'm saying, with our movements, with our thoughts, with our feelings, with our actions. We have power. So if we're going too slow, we want to go a little faster. If we're going too fast, we want to go a little slower. You get the idea? Okay, good. So how about if we're feeling like I was saying in the couch, like just sloth-like, slow motion. We're just carrying too much. Everything feels heavy and hard. Maybe that happens sometimes. So if we're feeling like everything feels heavy and hard, we could ask ourselves, what would lighten it up? What would make it easier? You see, so we go in the other direction. So if we're feeling burdened and our body's feeling heavy and gravity is weighing down on us, we're too connected into the earth, into the details, into the what ifs, into the thises and the that. We're too earthy. So we might want to stand up and go into more air energy, more imagination. Like, what would the best case scenario be for this one? What do I really want to happen? And we shift the energy just with our thoughts like that, from worrying and ruminating to contemplating, to imagining, to wondering, to being curious. What would be the best way this could go? Could I give energy to the best way this could go? You see what I mean? So too earthy, we go up into air and a little fire, and we wake ourselves up with some creativity. So let's move our arms this way, up and open, dip into the knees, inhale up, exhale down. And one more. Okay, so that's if you're feeling like bogged down, like there's too many details, it's too heavy, it's too hard, it's too much, I can't do it. We lighten it up, we free up some energy, we discharge. Okay, so trapped energy can be freed up. Here's one if you're feeling like, oh geez, I just am angry, I'm just frustrated, I'm at my wit's end, you're on my last nerve, like I'm ready to scream, you know that feeling? So here are a few toolbox items. One is called the volcano, perfect name, right? So I'm gonna stand here so you can see me a little bit better, and I'm widening my stance. So I'm gonna go into mountain. We didn't spend too much time on the chair. We'll go back there in a moment. So our hands are down, feeling the growing gravity pulling down on our fingers and our arms. Can you feel it through your shoulders? Just pull it down, let the shoulders be back and down. So we're grounding now. So if we felt like we were flying around thinking about too many things, we could stop and do mountain. We're in the mountain pose, a wide mountain. So we're going to build volcano from here. Okay, so play around with these ideas. You know, the yoga doesn't have to be an hour sequence. It can be a quick little flash of a yoga pose, a little stretch here, a little push here. Okay, so use yoga in your everyday life as well as coming to class. All right, so there's a volcano building in us, you know, that wild beast that wants to get loose, but we can't. It's not practical, it's not civilized until we tuck it in and we get sick or whatever happens to us. So here's a way to gather the energy. So imagine that this volcanic energy, this fiery molten lava is rising up in us. So we're breathing in, we're bringing it up, and then shoots out the top of our head and slides all down. Okay, so we're going to gather it up, sweep it up. Let it come down. So let's do 2 more. Now, if you're really angry, you know, 1 or 2 might not do it, but if you did 2 here and 2 here and 2 here and 2 here, you could dissipate some of this energy and clear it. Don't spurt it at anybody, just send it out into the universe. It's just your frustrations, it's the unexpressed stuff inside. And last, okay, volcano. That's a good one, huh? All right, here's another one for those frustrating moments where I just have too much fire and I don't know what to do with it. I want to burn the house down, or I want to just burn their supper or whatever. There's fire on the loose. Okay, so we're going to take a stance about as far apart as our mat. I'm going to bounce into our knees a little bit. Let our glutes start to wiggle a little bit, get some energy going in our legs. So we're going to go up and down on our legs. So we're going to be using our thighs, our quads here. There's 4 muscles. And they're all connected up into here. And then these glutes wrap around and hold all this. So we're getting in touch with our fire energy that makes us feel alive and awake and somewhat jumpy or agitated, angry, frustrated. Okay, so we're going to imagine we harness that energy and we take an axe in our hands. So an axe pose might be to clasp your fingers and point your pointer fingers together. So this is the point of your axe. You're going to bring your hands overhead, inhale. And imagine there's a wood there to split, and come down, bending the knees and striking with your axe. Coming up. And come back to center. So we have to experiment, you know, life is a laboratory, so we can experiment with these different tools, these different elements, these different energies, these different movements, these different philosophies. All right, so we have the feeling lethargic, having no energy, stagnant, like, ugh, can't walk. What about doing elephant pose? So you're a heavy elephant, and here's your trunk, and you can just walk slow, big, lumbering elephant. So it helps us honor the mode, the mood, the tempo we're in, and that helps free up some energy to move to a different mood or tempo. So going with it to go beyond it is the philosophy of yoga. You go through the pose to get beyond it. All right, let's come back to our mountain pose. Letting the feet have 4 corners. So we have the big toe and the little toe. And then we have the inner heel and the outer heel. So let's just practice letting the 4 points of our feet just settle in with even weight. This is very prescriptive, diagnostic, I should say, of how your body is lined up. If it's hard to get all 4 at the same time touching, that means there's compensation somewhere. Okay, so we're in our feet. We're in our mountain pose. And we're going to imagine that we're just in this dry spell. Everything just feels kind of flat and limp and dusty and old, and it doesn't feel very refreshed. So we're going to do the fountain pose to like wash off our mood, our feelings, our body. So you see how I'm rising up on my toes, tippy toes, as my fountain rises up. And I'm touching my fingertips overhead as a fountainhead and letting that shower down. So there's many ways to do it. Inhale up and exhale down. We can do it in the front. We bend our knees as we point our fingers down. You see my arm is straight and then my fingers drop down. We're stretching our wrists here. Carpal tunnel is a good stretch here. So here we are, and we're going to do water. We're going to let the water rise up, and then we're in our knees, and we're going to flip our hands and let the water rush down, wash us off like a shower. Inhale up, exhale down. So we start to get into the flow with the water poses. When life feels jangly and hard and just can't organize, sometimes these movements can help us organize. So we're up in the front and down in the front. I will do out to the side. So the fingers are pointing down. Try to get your shoulders back and down. Pull the core in, pull the pelvic floor and the butt up, squeeze the buns, drop the feet. So this is like a crow pose, but we're gonna move it as a water pose. So inhale up, and then the wrists touch each other, backs of the hands touch each other, and then push it out. Step back so you can see me. Inhale, exhale. So you could go up on your tippy toes here, or you can come down in your knees. So we're making water, we're making flowing movements to smooth out things from the sides and from the front. You could do it behind as well. So we want to take a float out the back and then bring it in and push it back and bring it in. So I'm moving my hands and arms in different ways. So you're just getting the fluidity of the movement. Okay, so if we're feeling dry, crusty, cemented, try water poses and help you flow. Okay, so let's sit down for a moment, have a little water. I refer to my notes sometimes. So let's sit back in our seats. We'll again push our hands or fingertips into above the knees where the quads hook up into the knees. And we're just pushing up as we push down, isometrics. So we're just keeping the legs fired up, keeping those muscles engaged. Feel that firing going up into the belly, maybe up into the pelvic floor and up into the belly, up into the chest, up into the face, and then release. So we're firing up our system. Inhale, pushing in, pulling up. That's it. So you may or may not have felt that. It might have been really subtle. For me, it was pretty strong. So now we're going to push on the outside of the legs as we resist. So we're working with resistance. Sometimes it's helpful to find the resistance and work with it and then push through onto the other side of the resistance to honor the resistance. So we're using our muscles one against the other as resistance to help us get stronger and more centered, call us back into the core. So I'm pushing and pulling here, which is going to activate the core. So just experiment, let your feet be flat. Inhale and push out. Exhale, pull the belly in, pull the pelvic floor up, drop the ribs, relax the shoulders. Relax the face, still pushing, still activating, breathing. Good. And so that's a very personal matter. Like, how long do you want to do that for? You know, the common prescriptive work on muscle activation is about 30 to 60 seconds and about 90 seconds to hold a stretch to let the muscles relax. So let's go into that. So sometimes we have to activate the muscles and sometimes we have to deactivate them, just like our feelings. So we're going to put our leg out in front. I have my foot flexed back. My other foot is right under my knee and my hips are even. My shoulders are over top. We're not twisting. We did a bunch of twists last couple sessions ago. So we're just coming forward now and we're stretching the backs of our legs. So we're stretching from our heel up through the calf. There's a whole series of muscles in the calf, behind the knee, into the hamstring, big strong muscle in the back of the leg, all the way up into the glutes. And there's several sections of glutes, major and smaller muscles. So we're activating these lower chakra base support muscles. Good. And release. So let's do a little lifting now and use the front of the leg. So sometimes we feel kind of weak, like we just can't get up and down off a chair, in and out of the car or whatever. Let's get our legs stronger. So I'm going to point my toe now and I'm going to lift my foot up and then I'm going to flex my foot and I'm going to bring it back down. So let's do it with our breath. Inhale, flex, exhale. One more. I like to do 4s a lot of times. Okay, so now we're going to take this knee and we're going to support it underneath. Grab it with your arms. Try to keep your head up straight so you're not tipping. Try to stay balanced. So this calls on our abs to hold our hips even. So exerting a weight here. So just try to relax into it. Let your leg just kind of dangle, supported. Use your upper body strength. Can you feel your chest engaged? Can you feel your arms, your quads, your triceps? Not quads, I'm sorry, your pecs and your biceps, and the triceps, all those upper body muscles, shoulders, holding up the weight of the legs. You're just using our own body. Push one against the other, weight against resistance, leverage, using our bodies to regulate, to come back home, to come back to the place that, here I am. Here's where I'm plugged in and feel alive and awake and nourished. Oh, I forgot about that place. Let me find it. Don't have to just go on vacation to find it, you know? Okay, turn the heel. If this angle isn't feeling good, so look how my hip is up here before I get it fixed. Let's see if it can go down like the other one next time. All right, so here's a good place to give a little foot massage. Just to pamper ourselves. Maybe we never even touch ourselves. We brushed our teeth today. Some of us, I've run into people like that. But what if we could give ourselves a little foot massage in the middle of our yoga practice? That's pretty sweet, huh? So what I'm doing is my thumbs, I'm just kind of walking around, just kind of stimulating, saying hello. Nerve endings for the whole body end up in the foot. So we're giving a whole body massage, so to speak, by massaging the feet. Some of you may know this. It's the whole science called reflexology. So I love foot massages, giving and getting. My husband rolls his feet over golf balls at the table and at his desk. He rolls his feet and stimulates the nerve endings there. It helps keep them healthy. Okay. So let's put this leg down. We'll do the same with the other leg. We're going to send it out. I think this is what we did first. We flexed it back, yeah. And we're leaning from the hip, we're hinging. We're coming down over this leg, just stretching the back of the leg. Don't go too far so you're pulling on your hips and back. Sit up a little bit and hinge at the hip. Hold the belly strong, drop the ribs. That's good. And as you pull the foot back, feel the foot stretching, back of the ankle stretching, calf stretching. Wiggle your foot back and forth, feel the different muscles in the calf and the foot and the ankles. There's tons of muscles and bones doing good for them, getting blood flow, getting oxygen. Feeling the stretch in the back of the knees. I love that stretch. The back of the knees is quite complicated back there, and it feels so good to stretch it, massage it. It's part of the lymph system. Lymph travels through here and get congested when our legs folded so much. So bring our leg out, massaging it. Sometimes people get swollen back there, just massaging it and moving the leg, marching, walking. Those things help. Stairs help. Very good. And then we sat back and we're pointing, we're lifting and then flexing and bringing it back down. So let's get situated for that. You may not be able to lift your foot very high, and that's fine. If it just comes off the floor a minute, that's fine. We're pushing the toes down to get our ankle more mobile. That's really helpful in fall prevention. So inhale and lift with the toes pointed. Exhale, flex and lower. One more. Very good. Okay, good. Let's hug this leg, bring it into our chest as tight as we can and feel the weight of it. Say, thank you, leg, for giving me some weights to lift right now. And we're letting the hip relax. We're pulling the hip. It's like a slight traction where we're lifting the hip out of the tightness and the compression. Just giving it a little room to breathe. So let's play around with our opposites. If we feel too tight, we want to feel what? Looser, more flexible, more agile. We feel stuck, we want to relax and soothe. We don't want to push when we're stuck because that'll make damage. Emotionally as well as otherwise, when we're stuck, we need TLC, we need pampering, we need to free up some energy so that we feel better. Okay, we're on this side and we're letting this leg fall. This one falls open so much more. And we're giving ourselves a little foot massage. Remember that part? So there's a webbing on the front of the feet. I've got my little socks on, but in the front of the feet, in between each toe, you can feel those canals, those ridges, those valleys. That's part of the lymph system. The lymph comes down and then it comes back up. And so when we massage there and help it, it gives it a little energy to clear, to go back and move. Stagnancy is one of the things that causes inflammation, which causes a lot of irritation in the system, causes a lot of symptoms. Stagnation. So moving is really important. Even moving your hand on your foot or on your bed, on your leg, and even that moves the energy. It moves the blood flow. All right, good. I think we did the same thing on both sides. So let's sit back and we'll close this session about self-regulation, learning how to find our way back to center, finding center in the chaos, finding our tranquil sanctuary within us where things can happen and we can still be okay. Let's come back to that place. Bring our breath, rise from the tailbone, from the earth, up through our body, up to the top of the head. If you can imagine it, exhale through the top of your head like a whale spout going up into the sky. And then when you inhale, draw it down from the sky, down through your body, and exhale it out the tailbone. This is an advanced practice, so if you're interested in it, keep practicing, and if it works for you, wonderful. So this is clearing the center canal. We'll do 4 breaths now, drawing from the earth up to the skies, from the skies down to the earth. We'll do 4 of those cycles. Let's do them to yourself. Very nice. So thank you so much for being here at Gentle Yoga with Ruth on this recorded session. And I just want to keep reminding you to find what's just right. It's not too much, not too little. It's just right. That's your inner trust, your inner knowing, your inner guidance, letting you know what's just right for you. So honor yourself. Thank you so much for being here. Namaste. Namaste.